let's see if we can start pulling things all together. So here we go. Number one, change negative 4,2 into polar coordinates. All right, so negative 4,2, we're going to change that into polar. So just make yourself pause for a second. If we're changing this into polar, that means we are looking for r and theta, right? And it means we have been given x and y. So how do we find r and theta? We've been doing it all morning. Graph it. Over 4 up to, we're going to need a calculator for this one because this is not special. What would my radius be, my r value? Root 20 or 2 root 5. Now be careful, this is going to be your theta. That's your angle right there. But you're going to find this one first. And you're going to find that one with your calculator, right? And what are you going to press? Second tangent, 1/2, 2 over 4. Second tangent, 1/2. And it's going to say, well, 26.56.
But then don't we have to subtract 180?
That's this angle, right? Your reference angle. So we're going to subtract that from 180. 153 point what? 44? I'm trying to subtract in my head. I don't know. Is that right? Here we go. Everybody okay with that? Now look at the next question. It is really the same except, what does it say?
R's less than.
R, we want R to be negative. Now, do not be confused. Forget that for a second and just do to this what you did to this. All right, so we're just going to find R and theta. Here we go. R is going to be, what? The square root of 41. And theta will be this angle, but I need to find this one first. So I'll second tangent 4/5. What is it? 36.66.
Yeah, it's 38.65.
Okay, so let's try again.
No, because that's a 9, so it'd be 6. Oh yeah, it's 38.
Second tangent. So I got 38.66. But I need to add 180 to that. So my R and theta would be, 218.66. Is that right? Okay, now, if I have to make R negative, which is an artificial move, it's never going to come out negative when you do the problem. When you do the problem, R is always going to come out positive. If you're asked to make it negative, okay, change the sign on R. What is that going to do to this angle? It changes it by 180. So I could either add 180, I think I would rather subtract 180, because what's going to happen if I add 180? It's going to be too big. Remember, a negative R moves you halfway around the circle. So if you have to make R negative, okay, make it negative, but then that's going to change your angle by 180 degrees. All right, rewrite in rectangular form. So this number is 3 CIS 110. 110 is not special, so I'm going to need a calculator. What do we mean by rectangular form? What am I shooting for?
X and Y.
X plus yi. I need to find an x and a y and write my number as x plus yi, like 2 plus 3i. That kind of number is what I'm shooting for. So how do I find x and y?
R is 3.
X equals 3 cosine 110 and y equals 3 sine 110. I have no choice. I have to use a calculator because 110 is not special. So 3 cosine 110. I got negative 1.003 and 3 sine 110, 2.82. So my number is negative 1.03 plus 2.82i. Does it make sense that the x would be negative?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
Because if you draw,
Because
it
if
would
you
be
drew 110, it would be in quadrant 2. X is negative, y is positive. Got it? Next, change 4,70 into rectangular coordinates. Is this exactly the same problem? Yeah. Because what's 4 and 70? What are these guys? R and theta. What are we looking for? X and Y. The only difference is, this time, instead of saying negative 1 plus 2i, I'm going to just say something, comma, something, because that's the way the problem is. So what's x equal? 4 cosine 70. 4 cosine 70. So x is 1.37. 4 sine 70, 3.76. You gotta admit that's easy, right? Yeah. Okay, rewrite in polar form. Rewrite in polar form. What do we mean by polar form? Well, yes, we mean R CIS theta. So we need to find R and theta. So what do?
Graph it.
Graph it. Again, not special, so again, we'll need a calculator. What's my R? This is R.
Root 97.
So it'll be root 97. CIS. So this is going to be the actual angle I'm going to use. I'll need to find that one. So second tangent 9/4. I got 66.04. How will I get my actual theta then?
180
Subtract
minus
180 minus, there you go. There it is. Anybody have a question about that? Everybody got it? Rewrite as a Cartesian equation. What in the world does that mean?
X plus Y, I.
It means write another equation, but the variables can't be r's and thetas. The variables have to be x's and y's. Now these are the hardest ones, I think. I gave you a little hint the other day. Anybody remember where I told you to start with this?
Sine equals Y over
Yeah,
R.
start with the function. What? I handed them out a long time ago. You got it. You got it. Start with the function. So sine is y over r. So start with that. Okay, then you remember what I told you to do? Because no matter what the function is, when you put it in, it's gonna be a fraction. They're all fractions. So what did I tell you to do?
Multiply
Get
by
rid of the
R.
fraction. So in this case, we're gonna multiply by R. You won't always multiply by R. It's gonna depend on what the function is, you know, what's in the denominator, but multiply by the denominator. Now, what about R squared? R squared is the same as x squared plus y squared. It's the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, when you draw your picture, isn't R squared always x squared plus y squared? So look at the equation that you now have. You should recognize that as a circle, but even if you don't, it doesn't matter. What are the variables in there? X's and Y's. Okay, good. All right, I think I have to stop now. Dang it. So I'm going to draw a line there so I remember. All right, we're getting close. We're going to finish this review sheet, and then we're going to do one of the pre-test deals, or two of them. So we're getting ready for a test. I got to map it out and see. But
When's the homework due?
homework really could all be done right now. So I will give you till class after the next one, whenever that is. That's when your homework is due. But the test will be very shortly after that. So you better be working on the pre-test.
Just had a quest the other day.
I know.
Why?
It's only 3 sections, sweetie.
Oh.
We're breaking stuff up, so it's only 3 sections.